let's go into, let's pretend we have all done the work. We have all done the self-assessment. We know where we are at in proximity to where we want to be. We have recognized our subconscious beliefs that are holding us back. We can maybe even trace them back to our past. We see, oh shit, this is something that I learned from my grandma or my mother, right? We know all of this. We have seen our patterns. We have done the work and we are actively doing the work. And maybe we've been doing it for a little while, right? Maybe you've been doing it for a few weeks, or if you're hardcore, maybe you've been doing it already for a few months, up to half a year or something like that. Or if you're super duper hardcore, maybe you've been doing it for a few years and you're just wondering, will I ever reach that level? And if so, like, how the hell do I identify this? Like, when can I tell myself in an authentic way to be satisfied with what I've done here, what I've accomplished here? How do I figure this out? Will there ever be an end to it or not? Or like, I don't know, right? This was essentially the question that I've gotten more than once, and I've promised more than once that my next live on the public channel will be about this topic. And so here I am fulfilling, a little bit delayed, my promise. The first thing that I need you to know and understand, and as best as you can radically accept, if it triggers you for now, is that you will never reach a certain level where you can give yourself a pat on the back and then be like, okay, I'm done. Okay. It's not going like this. You are a being that is by design made to want to expand. Right? You always want to keep going. You always want more. Technically speaking, we live kind of from a mindset or from a need state of always wanting more. There's never going to be enough. And there are a lot of very simple examples in every one of your lives that already show you this. It's just something that your brain has not yet actively connected to the conscious creation process, to the improvement of your self-concept. A lot of people are under the impression, if I level up my self-concept to a specific amount so that I maybe get my SP back, or maybe I get this promotion, or maybe I hit X amount of dollars in income yearly or weekly, or however the fuck you want to make your money, right? And you live under the false assumption that this is the end. This is where you just, if I just reach this little motherfucker, right? This little goal, if I can just tick that little asshole box, when I reach this, then I will finally be fulfilled or happy or whole or complete or feel empowered or in charge or whatnot. And this is just simply not the reality of it. The objective reality of human nature is that even if we do reach our goals, we want more. We have more goals afterwards. When we are hungry as hell, we make food or get food, order food, mama brings us McNuggets or whatever, and then we eat and we are for a specific time satisfied. But then we want eventually more, right? It's not like you're not gonna eat all the food that you can imagine you ever will want in one setting, or sitting in one session, let's call it that, in one session, eat like a crazy person, and then say, all right, I have experienced nourishment through food. I'm done with this. I will never want food again in my life. You're going to wake up the next day and you're hungry again, or maybe a few hours later, you're going to be like, I could eat something, like a little snack or something like that. And with this love concept, it's exactly the same thing. I can give you another example to make it a little bit more clear what I'm talking about. Let's say you buy a new phone, or you're in the process of wanting to buy a new phone. Your old phone's kind of shitty, so you experience some kind of contrast. You experience lack of something. Maybe the quality sucks. Maybe your phone's battery doesn't last long enough. So in some way, shape, or form, you are dissatisfied with what you have going right now. And therefore you experience the contrast. You experience like this disharmony in yourself when you compare where you are right now to where you want to be. Maybe you are right now with an iPhone 10 or something like that, 11 mini or something like that, and you see all those new features and functions and colors and whatnot, and the beautiful new cameras on the new iPhone 15, and you just feel this clash, you feel this contrast, right? So then you go on a journey to like figuring this out. You familiarize yourself with the new phone that you want. Maybe it's going to be the new iPhone. Maybe it's going to be a different phone. I don't know yet. We'll see. Usually people watch reviews. Usually people go to stores and try things out. So there's a whole like creation process that is kind of running on autopilot, not being really acknowledged by us while we're living it, right? And then when do we feel actually our happiest? When is this like peak moment of, oh my God, 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 oh my God? It's not when we have the phone unpacked and we use it on a day-to-day basis. It is right before, like right when we're at the counter paying for it, right when we get home and we finally have the time to unpack that box and be like, oh my God, yeah, and like put all the old stuff on the new phone and whatnot, right? Then this is where our peak emotion is. This is where we are the happiest. This is where we are the most satisfied. And maybe depending on what your relationship to electronic devices is, and maybe depending on how much you're used to replacing it, getting a new one, essentially how to what degree you are used to leveling up in that particular area depends on how you treat that phone or that manifestation from there on. Some people will treat the new phone like a newborn child, will gently lay it to rest. Be careful not to put any dirt on it, clean it 10 times a freaking day, right? And then a week down the line, they start throwing their phones through their apartments and, oh, it fell down. Oh, yeah, never mind. Who cares, right? So the excitement is not there anymore. If you're like me, I'm happy right before I buy it. Once I have it, I appreciate it for 5 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, what's next? Right? So this is just normal. And this is with everything. This is also why we create desires, not only based on contrast and lack, but also based on the need for expansion. We have on the one side, the negative aspects. For instance, my phone sucks, right? Battery dies, or I'm hungry. That would also be a negative aspect trigger. And this gives birth to a desire of positive change. On the other hand, we already have something good and we want to build. For instance, we have a relationship to somebody. Let's say it's a new relationship. We just met somebody and it's like really nice. We're vibing, we're flowing, it's easy, we're having fun. But damn it, I cannot wait to get into some kind of commitment here. Damn it, I cannot wait to maybe later down the line move in with this person. Damn it, I cannot wait to start a family. I want to get married, right? We always keep going, 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 going. And it's the exact same in every single area of our lives, including our self-concepts. So what we need to understand is that we will forever and always expand. The only levels that we can perceive while we're doing this are our limits. That means if I start completely insecure, if I start maybe just having been rejected, maybe just lost a friend, lost a relationship, whatever it may be, I start very low in my journey, right? And I'm very much desperate and I feel empty and I feel like half a being. I feel like nothing is going the way I want to. Nothing is working out in my favor. I'm just desperate and it's just fucking annoying. What the hell? Like, why the hell am I even alive? When I start there, and then I come across content like conscious creation or any self-improvement content, really. I come across this and I get like this little spark of hope. So then I learn maybe about affirmations, right? Maybe I learn about the possibility to change my life. And I learned that it's not necessary to stay where I am. Cat hair floating through the screen. Amazing. Maybe it's not necessary for me to stay where I am right now. Maybe I can change. Maybe I can improve, right? You open up that little door and why is there so much shadow stuff going on? I don't know. I need to change my lighting for the next one. Never mind though. Getting distracted. Maybe I don't have to be the person that I am right now for the rest of my freaking life until I die desperately and alone and like look back at my life and feel like crap, right? So maybe then you start using some affirmations. Maybe you start contemplating, what can I actually do? Maybe you start telling yourself, actually, I'm not a piece of shit. Actually, I'm pretty dope. I'm actually a pretty good person, you know? It's like, I'm not that bad. So you start telling this yourself. This is your beginning stage. And this is usually how it looks for people if they have the privilege and if they're lucky enough to start at the right foot and not start by trying to force change upon somebody outside of themselves for the sake of making them happy. As I just said in my examples, it's not going to be sustainable simply because we cannot gain a sustainable amount, everlasting sustenance of happiness and fulfillment and recognition and validation and all the sweet juices in life from an external source. We are not built like this. We move on, we expand, we experience new contrast, and we have a new desire for change. So we can never hold anything or anyone outside ourselves responsible for how we feel on the inside. It's simply not working. That's why I say, if you are blessed enough to kind of like slide into this whole universe of self-improvement and conscious creation maybe, and self-empowerment and rewiring your brain and stuff like that, from the perspective of, let me do this for myself because I don't really like who I am, and I don't like that I don't like who I am. You start small. You start with the focus internally. You start with your own opinion. And for a while, it feels good. For a while, you feel better. You feel like, actually, I'm not even bullshitting myself when I say that I'm pretty hot. I'm not even bullshitting myself when I say that I'm actually kind of smart and I'm really quick and that I actually have really good skills and I have a lot to offer. Like, I'm not that bad of a person. Why the hell was I ever thinking this about myself? So you practice this for yourself. And then you go into the external world and you experience dynamics with people, old dynamics, new dynamics, old people, new people, sometimes somebody with a new face, but it's filled with the old bullshit that we are trying to work on letting go and releasing and transmuting and changing and whatnot, right? And all of a sudden, you feel challenged. Your new self-beliefs, your new opinion about yourself gets challenged by experiencing the human side of our existence, by having relationships, interactions with other people. And then either you take it super easy and you're like, I am good. You know how to express yourself. You know how to carry yourself. You know what your values are. And you only take on the people that actually match your values. The ones that don't match you, yeah, you set boundaries. Either they conform to your boundaries, either they learn how to suck it up, grow on their own and match or meet you where you're at, or they have to live with the consequence of not having access to you anymore. That's the ideal version, right? So then you just swoop and you grow relatively effortless. The reality, the not so ideal version, but the version that we, all of us, the majority, not all of us, but the majority of us, including myself, are dealing with more dominantly, is that we get challenged and then we fall back into questioning ourselves. So every single time we work on ourselves and we feel the satisfaction on the inside, we feel better internally. We don't have a headache anymore. We don't hate ourselves anymore. We are not pessimistic anymore. We see the good. We are more driven. We are more inspired. Maybe our creative juices are flowing again. Maybe we have a little bit more confidence. We put ourselves out there a little bit more often, right? We try things. We share things. We are just open and receptive in general. Every time we have reached this, our self-concept has changed to some degree already, because our brain registers, oh, I feel better, like my system is more relaxed and healthier in that state. So your brain takes note of that. But the problem is, and this is the problem with all of our brains do not exist for the sake of making us happy. Our brains exist for the sake of keeping us alive. So when our brain has once learned, God knows when, sometime in the past, that a specific behavior, a specific belief system, a specific habit is in the favor of your survival, it will cling on to this for the sake of keeping you safe. Because everything new that you are trying, especially when you're putting it out there and making yourself vulnerable, all of a sudden your brain swoops in and says, yo, are you sure? Because that could potentially be dangerous. Do you remember back in, I don't know, in elementary school when you did this and that, or total failure? Do you really want to experience that again? Are you sure? Please, right? So we need to train ourselves to persist, and this is where persistence comes in, to persist based on this newfound emotional state of, hey, when I think good thoughts about myself, I feel good. We need to take this good feeling or this better feeling, let's just call it improved feeling, because maybe sometimes you still feel like shit and that's okay, right? This improved internal feeling about yourself needs to be, for now, enough to persist in your actions, decisions, and behaviors that are in alignment with your affirmations or who you want to become, long enough for you to actually experience the outside world confirming this to you. Does that make sense? You are lacking in the beginning empirical, tangible evidence for this new way of thinking and being to actually be in your favor. Your brain has a whole lot of storage built up where it says, yeah, well, this is dangerous, but this keeps me alive. Never mind that I'm feeling like shit. Never mind that I cannot hold any relationship. Never mind that I cannot keep a job going. Never mind that I struggle paying my bills every single fucking month. I'm still alive. I'm swimming. I'm not going under here. So this is kind of my ugliest comfort bubble. It's not nice, but again, I'm your brain. It's not my job to make you happy. It's my job to keep you safe. It's my job to keep your heart pumping blood and your lungs filling up with oxygen and all of that shebang. The capability to wiggle around your hands. That's my job as your brain. It's not my job to make you fucking happy. And now you come with this new thing. We're not used to this. Like, oh my God, what if the outside world tells us that we are wrong? What if I tell myself I am beautiful and then I go out and somebody calls me ugly? What then? Oh my God, right? So we need to rely on this improved emotional stage or state of emotions, however the fuck you want to call it. We need to learn to rely on this, on the feeling good about ourselves long enough to have the balls to go out there, act in alignment until the evidence manifests. This is the whole shebang. And when you notice that you're out there doing your best, but you're struggling, you have reached your limit. I'm going to give you an example for that. Let's say you want to look at your own value and you say, what I put out needs to be recognized as valuable. I crave recognition and I crave validation for my value. I want to feel important. I want other people to see that what I'm doing is actually useful because it's a reflection of me. And if I put things out there and they are not being recognized as useful or valuable, I'm going to take this as an echo to tell myself that maybe I'm not useful, maybe I am not valuable, maybe I need to change, maybe something is wrong with me. And we learn this shit as children. We learn this shit in dysfunctional families. We learn this shit from our immature parents. We learn this shit all over the place, right? So where was I? Ah, yeah, the value. Let's say now you have learned, okay, I can use affirmations for the sake of feeling more valuable and having more value and worth in my life to manifest a higher income. Okay. Saying I want to have, let's say, let's start small, $2,000 every single month. I want to make that income. This is your starting line, right? We don't always have to straight up go to the I need to be a millionaire shit. $2,000 a month. Amazing. That would be so cool. But you've not reached it yet. You have not yet experienced it, right? So saying the affirmation, I earn, I make, I manifest, I have $2,000 a month is incredibly specific. Between the you and your question of value and the specific affirmation is an entire freaking universe. There are so many little steps and stages in between that are all connected that a lot of people are just flat out either not aware of or just ignoring because, I don't know, it's too much effort or something. God knows what's up in some people's brains. But We need to understand what is the, I'm gonna steal the word from Neville Goddard, the bridge of freaking incidence internally, from going to the I value myself authentically to the I make $2,000 a month. What is the bridge there? That could be I value myself. Okay, it's just me. Again, it's just me about myself, nothing from the outside. What's the next step? I like what I'm doing. I enjoy what I'm doing. I enjoy my work. And whether your work is a product or a service, or if it is your time and your skills for somebody else when you're employed, it doesn't matter. But I enjoy what I'm doing. What I'm doing is actually important. It adds to other people. Next step would be that now we go more towards the outside world. Other people recognize the importance and value in what I'm contributing, what I'm sharing, what I have to say. It doesn't matter. You can take this and go nuts with this. Other people value this. That also means that I get recognized, right? My work gets recognized. If my work is valuable and important, and I am valuable and important, and I have freaking fun and enjoy what I'm doing, then this means that I get paid fairly. Like I get, how do you call this? I forgot it. It'll come back later or not, who cares? I get a payoff or a payout from this that matches the value of whatever the hell it is that I'm putting out there, right? So your product, for instance, you sell watches. You make watches and you sell them. Okay, so my watches have value. This is set in a price, and people, customers are actually coming and paying that price. When you have all of these, just an example, when you have all of these little things, those steps in between, from the I value myself to the I make $2,000 or $200,000 or 2 million, whatever the fuck it is that you want. When you have all of these in alignment with yourself and you truly authentically believe them and act and behave in alignment with them, then it's going to be very easy for you to say, I want $2,000. Maybe actually I want $4,000 a month. When you then affirm, I have $2,000 a month or I have $4,000 a month, you will very quickly notice that the outside world offers you opportunities that have been there all along, by the way, but you will start being aware of these opportunities. And because you authentically believe yourself, you're not bullshitting yourself, and your self-concept is on point when it comes to this topic, you seize them. And you most likely will be successful. There's nothing that goes against your success in this case. However, when you yourself just started out telling yourself, I value myself, not even really knowing what the hell that even means. Like, what does that mean? I value myself? I don't fucking know. I need to figure this out for myself. And then you start affirming for $2,000 a month. Ooh, you're going to have a shit show. You're going to have a hard time. You're going to have a whole boatload of resistance coming up there. Why is this? You need to look at the in-between steps. Maybe I do value myself. Maybe I have learned already, okay, I am actually, as a human being, I am valuable. But what is connected between my income and me as a person? Well, it's usually some added thing that satisfies the needs of others. For the most part, it's going to be either an investment or a job or a service or something, or a product or your own business. Usually, of course, there are exceptions, like marrying rich or coming from a rich family or something like that, but those people usually don't think about these issues. Those people don't have these issues. Somebody who marries rich or somebody who inherits a lot of money does not necessarily sit on their ass thinking about, I need $2,000 more a month. They don't have these issues. Other people do. The people that I'm talking about do. So you need to ask yourself, okay, where the fuck am I contradicting myself? Maybe I understand that I have an inherent value, and I'm still in the process of figuring out what that even means and how that looks like. Looks like. Now that was correct. Grammar. But maybe I'm also working a job that sucks. Maybe what I'm doing for a living is not what I like. And maybe I am contradicting the statement, I value myself, by being in a job that I fucking hate for the sake of making money or making ends meet. Somebody just knocked. We're gonna ignore it. Okay. You can do whatever the fuck you want, but you cannot say, I value myself, and then out of fear of not being capable of providing for yourself, stay in a job that is unfulfilling, that you hate, where you go every day to the same fucking office with the same fucking fuck faces there, the same dipshit people, the same asshole clients, the same bullshit every fucking day. But oh my God, I cannot just quit because I need the money. Who's gonna pay my rent? Who's gonna pay for my food? Like, what do you expect me to do here? But you need to understand and realize and acknowledge and become aware of the fact that maybe at this particular step, you are contradicting your base primary need of value. I value myself, but then I go do a job that's shit. Or maybe you're trying to cut corners. Maybe you are producing your watches, but maybe you're a cheap fuck. And maybe you are misaligning the materials that you're using for your watches or whatever it is that you're producing. You're misaligning yourself there because you take the cheapest shit. Maybe your opinion about your product that you're offering is that's garbage. That's actually not good. This is a shit product. But you are still putting it out there because, again, you're scared that if you're not putting it out there, where's the money coming from? There's I need to put something out there, right? Equally so, if you're employed somewhere, maybe you believe that your skills do not meet the baseline requirements for the job that you're doing. Then you think that the product, that what you add, your skills for which you've been hired, right, are not actually good enough. So here you need to see, the way I see my skills clashes with my core intention, core need, core desire. I value myself. It's not true because obviously I have a shit view about my skills. So I need to then go and change my approach about the skills. Does it make sense to you? When you truly, honestly believe that you value yourself and you actively value yourself, saying that, or it's actually kind of a given, it's a natural consequence that if you do value yourself, you will only be capable of making things, doing things, having a job that you like, because you cannot value yourself and do something you hate. It's not working. It's too much of a contradiction, right? So when you truly value yourself, you have a job that you actually value and that is fun for you, that you enjoy doing. And when we take it further, then when you like your job and you value your job and you value yourself and you notice that this is actually an important thing, what I'm doing here, then you start also seeing value in what you're doing. You see the worth of it. And from there, it's very easy to project it out onto others and be like, hey, the work that I'm providing here, or my product, my service, whatever it is indeed not only fun for me, but it's also necessary for this world and people appreciate it. And then, of course, people will reflect this back because you're authentic about this. And the more authentic you are, the more you really truly believe your baseline self-concept, the more you actually truly value yourself. And again, act, behave in alignment with that statement, affirmation, belief, right? The more you're doing that, the less resistance you have into going specific. The more resistance you notice when you're going into specific desires. I want to live, I don't know, in a house, or I personally want to live in a penthouse with a rooftop pool. That's my little dream. Obviously, I'm not there yet. So obviously, between I value myself and my living standard, there is something that is a mismatch. And if I give a shit about it, I will look into this issue and will figure out, where are my mismatching behaviors? Am I being a person that is capable of owning, living in a penthouse with a rooftop pool? Wow, that was a hard one. Am I that person? Well, obviously not, because if I was that person, I would have it. So what's clashing here? So you see, you go, when you are working on yourself, from the internal and then to the external. An external is like, for instance, internal is the total internal, is how do I feel? What do I think and how do I feel? And then the first layer of external would be like, how do I look like? My body, my hair, my face, everything. Then what do I bring to the table? What comes from me? How do I treat other people if we're going into the relationship sector? How do I work? What do I do? What are my hobbies? What, all of these questions, those very personal things. And then it comes wider from the outside by other people reflecting it back. When you have resonance at each step of the way, you're gonna flutch through this really fast and easily, and it's gonna be a blast for you. This is usually what happens when we have a desire that is based on the expansion of something. When we have a desire that is purely based in appreciation, inspiration, or love, something like that, usually we manifest changes within us and outside of us very, very fast. But when it's something that is based on experiencing a clash, a contrast, a negative thing, and we have the desire for positive change, well, then we need to fucking be the change. That's as simple as it. And as simple as can be. And every time you face resistance instead of resonance, you have reached your limit. It's nothing bad. You sit there. Resistance, not only in affirmations, mind you, resistance coming from the outside in. Somebody treating you like shit. You're not getting the promotion. You still haven't gotten a job. Your car that you wanted, all of a sudden, is not available to you. Right? The watch that you wanted to buy is not available in your country. That's something that I'm sitting with right now. Right? Your mother is being annoying as fuck again. Your grandma is being unreasonable and wants you to go out of your way to, do a favor for her. These things are also resistance. Right? Every form of, oh my God, every form of annoyance, every form of annoyance, every form of tension, disagreement, not wanting this, feeling this, no, fuck, no. Also, every sensation that kind of feels like you are supposed to be doing something or you're getting something that you don't deserve, every type of unfair situation. And then, of course, the 6 big core wounds, every aspect of abandonment, rejection, humiliation, betrayal, neglect, and all of these juicinesses, because they also have their value. All of these things, when you notice, experience any shape or form of resistance, you need to recognize, aha, I have reached my own personal limit. Let me go a step back. Where am I clashing? Right? If it's in relationships, I love myself. Where do I not love myself? Right? If it's status stuff like luxury products, cars, or even your living situation, could be, for instance, I honor myself. If it is something where you feel like you are incapable of depending on others, every time that you do open up to somebody, they kind of backstab you. Every time you need somebody else to actually step up, man up, woman up, and actually do something that you are kind of sort of relying on, and they either betray you or just disappoint you because they just were incapable of doing it, then this might be something connected to the I trust myself. You always start with the self. I love myself, trust myself, value myself, honor myself, prioritize myself, all of these self. And then, and only when this is set, you extend it to the other person. I trust the other person. I honor them. I love them. I value them. But it needs to be authentic. And if your own core is not authentic, if you're telling yourself, I love myself for the sake of, well, everybody does that, aren't you supposed to love yourself? But you're actually not loving yourself. Your actions, your behaviors, maybe you're neglecting your hygiene. Maybe you're neglecting your body's needs for movement and healthy nutrition. Maybe you're neglecting, that's what I did 2 months ago, your body's need for rest. I had this epiphany of my own, being like, holy shit, I am a mindset coach and preach self-improvement based on prioritizing your well-being. Here I am, married to my job, not sleeping, not even a little bit, right? Sleeping 2 hours, 3 hours, and then napping 10 times during the day. That's a clash. This is not I love myself. Absolutely not, right? Also, when it comes to the trust thing, when you say I trust myself, you extend this to the freaking process of creation. You know what? This feels good. I'm going to trust myself that this is the right decision. And I'm also going to trust the fucking universe to show up for me. I'm going to trust in my knowledge of conscious creation. I'm going to trust in all those little experiences that I've already made, right? And I'm going to fucking trust that in some way, shape, or form, somehow, at some point in time, I'm going to get that thing that I want or need or whatever desire, right? This is trusting the process. But if you don't trust yourself, if you have dissonance with yourself, if you want to do something, but the first thing in your head goes like, oh, I don't know if I can, well, then you need to work on that, right? So it's not that you will ever have this feeling of, you will never really wake up and authentically feel like, that's it, I'm here, I'm done. My self-concept is on point. And I can guarantee you, every time you feel like this, brace yourself. There's going to be a downfall on the other side of it. It's not authentic. Usually when we have those high highs, when we feel like, ooh, I have leveled up, it's actually just that we have broken out of the negative. So when we look, do I have a cat toy here or anything? I have this pen box. I shall use this. When we look at the stick of the topic, self-concept, this is my opinion about myself. I hate myself. I feel like shit. I love myself. I feel really, really good on a day-to-day basis. We think that when we have those super high feelings, when we have those days where we're glowing and we're like, oh my God, look at me, I'm fucking perfect, that we're somewhere here. And we believe that we just, like, it's achieved is the word? Yeah, brain, thank you for working with me. We just achieved or reached, better, and reached a new level of self-concept. We think we're all here, but what in all reality happened is that we just moved out of the negative and we just tipped a little bit to the positive. But we're so not used to it that we interpret this as, wow, ecstasy, I feel so high and so amazing, and blah, 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 blah. And usually because we're very close to the negative spectrum, when we say that half of this box is positive, this is negative, we are more used to this side. So after a very high, we usually cannot sustain it, because we're not supposed to sustain heightened emotions, whether they are positive or negative, doesn't even matter. And we fall then back, and then we question, but I love myself, I really do, and I feel good. Are you though, in all areas that are related to the one area that you're trying to improve? Are you? I don't know. Check yourself. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to really understand that this is an ongoing process. Self-improvement, conscious creation. I don't give a shit if it's because of an SP or because of money or because of health or because you don't like the way your hair looks. I don't care what your personal reason is, right? But you need to understand that anything, self-improvement, conscious creation, towards any aspired goal is a fucking change in lifestyle and identity. It is not I'm gonna repeat affirmations until I get it, and then I'm gonna look into my 3D, and if I can find proof for the shit that I just told myself to be true, I will be satisfied. No, you will not. You're gonna be happy for 5 fucking seconds and that's it. There is no end state. There is no boss fight. There is no final thing. There is no SP that needs to come in and prove shit to you. It is an ongoing process, and you need to measure yourself based on how you feel.